Hi, welcome to the Inspiring Inkin YouTube channel and the Inspiring Inkin Facebook page. I'm Amanda. Welcome to a Thursday live. Not my normal scheduled day or time, in fact, but I was busy working on the scrapbooking retreat, the online scrapbooking retreat that I've got coming up in July. And I figured that it would probably be a really good idea to show you the things rather than just describe them and have pictures. I've also finally got my hands on a scrapbook album. So Stampin Up have now launched their scrapbooking albums, which I'm really excited about. So I just thought I'd show you how to assemble one of those and just go through some of the products and things that are going to be used in my album scrapbook, my online scrapbook retreat. I also have a product that's included in this retreat that hasn't been launched yet. So this is a sneak peek. It's going to be launched next week on the 3rd of June. So if you want to book on the retreat or get more information, I'll make sure all the links will be down there below. If you want kits with products, you need to be in the UK. I'm afraid I can't send that internationally. However, with all of my online classes and events, there is always a worldwide option, and that includes all the classes and all the PDFs and a list of products that you'll need together. So let's get started. Hi, Ali. Thanks for joining us today. It's I'm not expecting it to be busy in the chat today because this isn't a normal day for me. So I'm really grateful that you managed to pop in. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip the camera around and talk you through the new album and what's going to be included in this online scrapbooking retreat. So before I get into that, let me just tell you a couple more things. I have an online scrapbooking retreat happening in July. My dates have been in the calendar for forever, and Stampin Up have also announced a virtual album retreat. So at the end of this chat, I'm going to tell you about the Stampin Up retreat. It's the same in the sense that they're both scrapbooking. But they are very different in their content and so on. So I'm going to tell you about both of them because one might fit you better than the other. Okay, so let's just stop that camera. And I have tried to set up my camera so you can actually see a full let's see if it works. You should be able to see when I open this up, you should be able to see a full album. So I'm a bit higher up than I am normally. So Stampin Up now sell two types of albums. There is a D-ring album and a postbound album. I have a postbound album here, and actually I'm going to pull in one of the old postbound albums. Now this is from previous, maybe 8 years ago. I think this album is from. I don't have one of the current ones, basically because I'm going to be using this one. So a D-ring album is exactly what it says on the tin. It's got this type of clip and snap. And it's like a really good, really heavy duty D-ring. And I use this for my albums that are works in progress. And I use this specifically because I can open it up really easily and move the pages in and out. I use post-bound albums for completed albums. So once I've finished an album, I then put it into a post-bound album, and that's how I keep it and use it for display. So that's kind of the two styles of album and how I use them. But lots of people prefer this style. Lots of people prefer post-bound for everything. So ultimately, it is up to you. But there's a bit of assembly required for a post-bound album. So I thought I would walk you through it. So in the box, you get two covers. So that's the front cover, and you can tell it's the front because it doesn't have the Stampin' Up logo on it, and that's the back. You also get a spine, and then on here you get the posts. And so the first thing I'm going to do is dismantle the posts. Now the posts are 1.5 inches in length, and they've got a couple of plastic washers, and hopefully you can see that bit. That is the screw top. So you just unscrew it. Now you could use a screwdriver or a coin, in fact, to sort of tighten those up and things. I never do. I just use my fingers. I just don't over tighten them ever. But you can see you've got sort of a little hole there and the little screw there, and then that just goes in together. And then there's the third one. Okay. Okay. So we're just going to put the spine to one side for now and look at these covers. Now, the covers have, screws fallen on the floor. If I bring those up there, that will work better. My Wi-Fi keeps dipping out. Hopefully, you'll still be able to see, and that the image isn't too blurry. So the covers, focus. The covers are solid, padded, faux leather effect, black. And then you've got this section here, which is basically what's going to hold all of your pages. On the inside, you've got the holes where the posts are going to go. And then on this side, this is nice and smooth, so it's covered. But inside, you can actually see the holes. Now, something that is quite unusual about this type of album is there are magnets here. So I'm hoping if I bring it up closer to the microphone, if I let it go, you'll be able to hear. Can you hear that snap? And basically that secures the base of the post or the top of the post, and that makes it sit really nice and smoothly. So when you're coming to assemble your album, make sure that your Stampin' Up logo is at the back. And I always, when I'm putting extra pages in, I always put them in from the back. So what you want to do is unscrew a post, lift up the magnetic strip and put the post in. But what we're going to do is we're going to put one plastic washer on this side. And then we're going to lift up the magnetic strip on this side and put it through like so. Put another washer on and then screw this in. Now the washer will just help protect the holes. Because obviously you're going to be opening and closing this. And just make sure when you snap that down, it's nice and secure, which it is. Okay, so all I'm going to do is repeat that process. Honestly, it doesn't matter whether you have the screw part at the front or at the back, but over time, I've learned that I tend to put my pages in from the back, so it just saves time. And what you definitely do want to do, though, regardless of whether it's at the front or the back, is you want them all to be the same, because you really don't want to have to undo one way and undo one the other way. So that one's in. Put my plastic washer on. And screw that one in as well. Okay. So I'm just going to sort of pull this apart so you can actually see the posts there, and then snap it in together. So that is your album assembled. Obviously, it kind of looks a bit weird because it's got posts in it. That is what this piece is for. So you have a gap here, and this just gets threaded through there. Ooh. You just have to wiggle it in a little bit. And then if I flip it over, then you're going to do exactly the same on this side. And it just takes a little second just to give it a wiggle. And you just want it sort of even on both sides, front and back. So let me just do that. And then that gives you your beautiful sort of spine there. And obviously it protects this piece. Now, a trick is to not put your spine in until everything's finished, because what will happen is it will curve to this size, and it may be that once the album sort of grows with all of your pages in it, you might want that to be bent in a slightly different way. So what I tend to do with this is I put this at the back of the album in a pocket until I'm finished. Okay, so let me just show you how to put your pages in. So you are going to have to, let me talk you through, because I do this so automatically because post-bound albums are my favorite. So I'm just automatically do things. So let me just talk you through it. So you want to lift up your magnetic strip. And then what I do is I squash this together so I can get hold of these screw bits. I'm going to take the screws off. And the washers, don't lose them. They are important. I just put them to one side. And then I pull the whole of the back off. And then I'm going to put my pages on here. Now I have got a whole heap of pages. So let me just grab these. And you can put them on one at a time, or you can put them on as a stack. But they are slippy. So quite often it's easier. This is one of the Halloween kits. What else have I got here? I've got all kinds of random pages. Oh, that's a page from 2010. My daughter. That's my son. That's from a long time ago. Make sure, another really important thing to make sure is as you're putting the pages in, make sure that the top is the opening part. Another picture of my son. And then I've got a few more. Oh, there's another random page. Okay. Yeah, I think that will do for now. So then you're just going to slide that back on again. You can see how easy it is. Just put your washers back on. And then just screw those back in. Ooh. Right, so just pull it up and then snap that back down again. And then you've got your pages in. So I'm just going to open it up just to show you. This is one of the reasons that I love postbound albums, because it folds completely flat. So when you're turning your pages, let me see if I've got, of course, I've put my pages in, so they're not going to be, oh, there we go. There we've got 2 pages there. So they are sort of opening up and you can see them both together. They look really pretty that way. Obviously, at the moment, I've got quite a lot of space here, basically because I don't have as many pages in as this will fit. But it just works really, really beautifully. And then what I do, the spine, I just put this in the back of the album, keep it nice and flat until I'm ready to kind of put it on my shelf. Okay. So absolutely beautiful album. Love it. But let's talk about my scrapbook retreat. So actually what I'm going to do, let me just get my face back on because then I feel like I'm talking to you. There we go. There we go. That's better. Okay. So my scrapbook retreat takes place over 2 separate Saturdays in July. Now, the first thing that I need to say is everything is always recorded and you get the replays for as long as you want them. So if you're not free those days, or you're free part of it or not all of it, it doesn't matter. You can just watch it whenever works for you. So it's the 12th of July and the 26th of July. There are 4 events included in the retreat. So on the first Saturday, we've got a live session, which is all about working with 12 by 12 scrapbooking pages. I ran a class last year which talked about scrapbooking in mini books, which is the introduction that I always do for people who are starting in memory keeping and scrapbooking, because sometimes a piece of paper this big kind of feels huge. It feels too much to work on. So I always recommend that you start with mini books and work on a smaller scale. Firstly, because it's less space to fill up, but also because they can be completed items. So I will put links to that class below. It is still available. And in actual fact, one of the kits that I used is also available in most markets at the moment, and it's reduced. So it's the travel journal. I'm trying to remember what it's called. Scenic Route, I think, but that's included as well. But also I teach you how to make mini books. So that's that class. So this is kind of the next one on. So the first class on the Saturday is all about working with 12 by 12, working with photographs, and, you know, do you go photographs and paper and colours, or colours and photographs? Which way do you work? And I'm just going to talk you through the process, give you some hints and tips about getting photographs printed and taking photographs and all that kind of stuff. And that's a live class. There will then be a recorded class where you're going to make a minimum of 10 double page spreads. So that's actually 20 pages, but most of them will be like a double layout. So when you open the book, you've got the two pages. So it's a minimum of 20. I think it'll probably potentially be more, but equally it depends how you work. Sometimes people like to put more stuff on the pages and sometimes less. So, you know, it's up to you. So that's a recorded class. So those two things will happen on the 12th of July. Then 2 weeks later, on the 26th, there will be 2 live events. One is going to be fun with flip flaps and interactive pages. So a scrapbook page, let me see, let me just hold one up. A scrapbook page, a standard scrapbook page, is static, really. It has journaling on it, which is descriptions of what's happening or memories that you want to capture. It has pictures, potentially embellishments, die cuts, all kinds of things like that. But I think it's a really fun thing to do, to have things that people can discover on the page. And it lifts your scrapbook as well. And it also means we can get more photos on. So I don't know about you, but I seem to take lots of pictures. So I quite often want to get extra pictures on the page. So we've got something called flip flaps, which I will show you in a second. And they allow us to add in extra pages or extra photos or extra journaling, and also hide things as well. So that's one class on the Saturday. And then there is a Zoom in the afternoon where we are going to scrapbook together. So it just gives everybody the opportunity to catch up on the things that they've been making, to share what they've been making, to chat, make some new friends, and just have a lovely afternoon crafting together. So that's the kind of whole event. What's included in the retreat, if I have 3 different levels. So the first one, the ultimate level, is £129. It includes an album, whether that's a postbound album or a ring bound album. That is absolutely up to you. It includes page protectors, a kit, which I'm going to show you in a minute, lots of additional two-tone paper, flip-flap pages, embellishments, die cuts, all kinds of additional things, journaling pen, basically everything that you need to complete those pages and to have an album to put it in. The second level is called the kit, and basically it includes everything you're going to need apart from an album and page protectors, because I appreciate there are lots of scrapbookers out there who already have albums and page protectors and you don't need more. So that's another option. And then the third option, which is £29, it just includes the 4 classes and the PDFs and the replays. So there's no crafting products available in that, but that is the option that my worldwide friends can take. So I can only send products to people in the UK. The customs and the postage charges and things have been going crazy. So kits only go in the UK, but the PDFs and the classes you can take from anywhere in the world. So let me turn the camera about again and show you the kit that's included. Good morning, Margaret. Margaret's popping in from North Carolina. Thank you for joining us today. Oh, Ali's enjoying my enthusiasm for scrapbooking. She's tried it a few times, but it's not for her. Maybe I'll convince you, Ali. I love it because I've got so much space to cover. That's for me the thing, and I've got so many photos. When I last looked on my computer, I had 38,000 photos. That's just my digital photos. That doesn't include the boxes and boxes of photos and negatives and things I've got in the cupboard. So scrapbooking is a necessity for me because I need to get those things actually recorded. Ali says, I'm going to try and turn her to the dark side. I am. The thing is, if you are a paper crafter, scrapbooking makes so much sense because you've already got everything. and you get to work on bigger pieces. It's amazing. Right, so I'm going to now show you something that's not been released yet. So you may know I was in Orlando last week. Was it only last week? 10 days ago, on the Stampin' Up incentive trip. And one of the gifts was this, which is a brand new scrapbooking kit that's coming out. Now, over the past, since September, so 8 months, 9 months, we've finally, some of us have been asking for a while, we have finally got scrapbooking products back in the catalogue. So we have scrapbook workshop kits, we have albums now and page protectors and so on. And the amount of products is beginning to increase, which is amazing. But this is something that hasn't been released yet, and it's going to be released on Tuesday. So I'm going to show it to you. And this basically is the foundation of my retreat. because when I saw it, I'd already designed quite a bit, and then I saw this kit and then decided I was going to redesign. So I love it. Okay, so let me switch this camera around. Oh no, I have to stop first. I'm clicking all the wrong things. Hang on. Yeah, awesome. Okay. So in this kit, so it's not a scrapbook workshop kit. Kerry's saying yay for scrapbooking. Awesome. It's not a scrapbook workshop kit. So what is a scrapbook workshop kit? They are kits that make 3 double-page spreads, and you have cutting instructions and very specific measurements and so on and layout. This is much more fluid. So there are some instructions. So there's a couple of pages here. There are some instructions, and then there are some additional pages. In my online scrapbooking retreat, I'm not actually going to be following this in the sense of copying the pages. Some of them will be similar, but I'm not actually copying the pages, so they'll be completely different to this. But so obviously you can choose, can't you? You can make the pages however you want to. But in this kit, there are some glue dots and some double-sided tape. Then you've got some 4x6 cards. Now these are used as journaling cards or decorations, but you've got all sorts of different panels in all sorts of colors, and the colors in this are really beautiful. There's some softness. So that is probably the best one to show you the colors. So there is Petal Pink, Darling Duckling, Shaded Spruce, Secret Sea, Cloudy Sky. There's a bit of Crumb Cake in there as well, Lost Lagoon. Really pretty. So they're all the 4x6 cards. Then you've got these beautiful pages. Now the papers are single-sided. So Stampin' Up papers are often double-sided, but in this kit, they're all single-sided. So you've got, just pull the pages. There are some duplicates. Oh, grey granite is another one of the colors. These are just so pretty. You've then also got these. So these can actually be used as, there's a couple of pages like that actually. These can actually be used as they are, as a highly decorated page, or you can cut them into strips, or which, to be fair, is probably what we'll be doing. It's really cool. You've got that one as well. And then you've got that chevron effect. And that page as well. And then in addition, you have 2 pages of stickers. So these are die cut cardstock stickers. So they're not paper stickers. They're a good weight. And I'm just going to try and put that back now. So obviously here, these are all leaves. So you've got a sheet of leaves. You've then got a sheet that is repeated 3 times. So that's the English version. but you've also got French and German. So that works really well as well. And then you have a sheet of die cut pieces. So these again are cardstock. Let me just pop out. There we go. So you've got die cut pieces. And then you've got 2 sheets of frames and tags and journaling pieces. So a lot of the work is done for you in the sense of pulling tags and various other things together. And obviously everything is color coordinated. So that is going to be included in your online scrapbooking retreat. In addition, there will be two-tone cardstock. So I've just got a couple of colors here that will be included. So this is Lost Lagoon and this is Crumb Cake. And you can see the difference there in the 2 sides of the paper. So there's going to be two-tone cardstock included, page protectors, a journaling pen. There'll be additional die cuts and embellishments and things as well. And then the awesomeness that is flip flaps. And flip flaps, let me just open this up. Flip flaps are amazing. So these, I'm going to get these cards out. This is probably the easiest way to show you. These flip flaps are little pockets. And we're going to use 4x6 because that tends to be the size of photos that most people have. And you put in your photos, and then this white strip here is actually attached onto your page. So let's imagine, let's put that page there. Let's imagine that this is my scrapbook page. And I can peel this off and stick it down. And it then means that I can put a photo here, and another one here, so that actually increases the amount of photos I can put on a page. So we have these ones in the kit. You'll have a full pack. So you've got these ones which are landscape, and then these ones which work as portrait, or you can obviously do them the other way as well. But they're just, honestly, they are so cool. And what you can do is you can stack multiples together. So for instance, you could put that one down and that one down over there. So you can flip that one and then you can flip this one. And it's, yeah, honestly, it's really cool. But I'm also going to be, so one of the classes is fun with flip flaps and interactive things, because I just want to talk and share with you different ways that you can add in things like memorabilia, which are things like ticket stubs or postcards or different things that you collect that you're not really sure what you can do with. How can you sort of incorporate those into your scrapbooks? So let me switch this camera around again. And finish off. Okay, so I've shown you a postbound album, how to assemble a postbound album. I've showed you what's included in the kit already. And like I said, all of the links will be below, so you'll be able to click on those links and register for the class. and see my other class, which is my mini book class. So like I said, one is called Introduction to Scrapbooking, which is the mini book class, and then there's the Online Scrapbooking Retreat, which is the new class that's starting in July. So that is all of the classes from me, but Stampin' Up have also launched a class, which honestly you couldn't have planned it. Their class is actually in the middle of my two events. Now, for anyone who is in Europe, I'm going to say this right now, the live part of the event is not going to work very well for you unless you are a night owl, because it's evening into the early hours of the morning. But that said, the class itself is recorded, so you could always watch it at a separate time. So I'm just going to pull up. Let me see. There we go. I'm going to pull up. There is another page. Let me see. No, not that one. Just bear with me 1 second. Is it that one? Let's see. Yeah, so this one will actually tell you better when the event is. So it's the 16th to the 19th of July, and it starts UK time. It starts at 9 p.m. and finishes at 5:30 a.m. So like I said, it's an 8-hour event overnight. And I appreciate for some people that will actually work. So that's why I'm sharing it. Now, the class itself is £233, and you will receive all of the products you need to make 12 layouts. And it's basically a year's worth of pages. So I'm going to add that one. Let me go back and show you. So what it's actually doing is it's giving you double page spreads for every month of a year. Now, it doesn't obviously have to be just 2023, for instance. It could be whatever you want it to be. The difference with this particular type of event is all of the products are already cut for you, and the presenters will walk you through every single step of each of the double page spreads. There's no fee to take the class. It's a fixed price of £233. And there's no album or page protectors included. It's purely the class itself. They do include lots of techniques and other things. I will make sure that all of the links and everything will be on my blog. I'm just going to put my blog address up for you. All of the information for both my retreat and Stampin' Up's will be on my blog, and you'll be able to click through. And if you're on my mailing list, then you will get copies of that PDF as well with all of the images on it. The kit itself includes stamps and lots of other things as well. So, like I said, they are two very different events. They are happening almost at the same time. But obviously you can pick one or pick both, whichever works best, whichever works best for you. There will be a Google form if you are registering for my class. you basically, if you're taking the ultimate class and you're having an album included, you just need to pick whether or not you're having a postbound album or a D-ring album. And I will then send out all of the information and details of when everything's coming out a bit later on in June. So I hope that has given you a little bit of an insight into my online retreat and to see the album and the new products. And I will look forward to scrapbooking with you very soon. So take care of yourselves. Goodbye for now.